Brad, it happens every week now, but how's the team resetting for after the fifth win?
Yeah, good. It's always good to come back with a win, obviously. It's just always good to see these guys on Tuesday mornings with a new energy and a new outlook, right? Because we know there's things to work on and there's things to improve. Even when things are going well, we make a point to find things that don't go so well. So we review with video, we carry on some individual work, of which the staff's done a great job, and the players have been really receptive to the individual stuff as well. So, yeah, even although, on the outside looks perfect, we're still trying to keep pushing the envelope on the inside.
What were the parts of concern about the last game?
Yeah, I mean, I don't, just the way we start the game, give up another free kick early on. There's just certain things we're trying to mitigate with the opponent, and sometimes, they break through, or there's a cross, or, sometimes we look at how we're giving up chances. So whether it's a second ball or a counter-pressing moment, the things that we value, and we look at these things honestly and reflect back honestly as well.
Where do you think the confidence within this team has come from? Because I think it was evident, way back in Florida camp.
I think the way the boys have prepared themselves gives them confidence, right? I think the way the boys have been open to accept maybe, this philosophy and this mentality, and everyone's been handpicked. So for them to come together as a group and to commit to each other, it's not so easy to do this process. But when you get it right, it becomes a thing of joy. And I see a lot of positive things happening right now with this group. And it's on us to keep it hungry and motivated. And the ambitions need to be high, right? Because if you just accept 5-0, then you will just stay 5-0. So if your ambitions keep on growing with you, and the more prepared you are, I think it's easier now to achieve the next step.
Bradley, so Minnesota coming on Saturday, they are undefeated on the road, undefeated in general. What challenges can they pose for CDSC this Saturday?
They're a competitive team, right? So just like we strive to be competitive, they are very competitive as a group. They work as a unit. They work collectively. They're difficult to break down, and they have some difference makers in their team. So credit to Adrian Heath. His teams are never easy to play against, and I think he has a good few pieces in his team this year. We know they've had a couple of guys traveling from all over the world, but we don't plan for that. We plan for their best version of themselves, because that keeps our levels high in training and keeps us on the edge of our toes. So we accept nothing in terms of, we don't disrespect the opponent. We receive, or we feel that every opponent that comes our way is going to be at their best version of ourselves, because they're seeing us now in week 5, all right? And we're still posing problems to certain teams. So they're going to give us a different look, obviously. It's like almost playing against ourselves in a certain way, because they don't rely on the individual, they rely on the team as well. And right now they're functioning very well as a team.
How's Jabulo Blom progressing? Any minutes restrictions we can expect? How's he looking and going into it?
I mean, he progressed now, obviously playing 13 minutes in the last game. I don't believe he's anywhere ready to start a game. I think he's progressing every day in training, and he's progressing every time he's on the field. So it's a benefit to have a fit Jabulo Blom with us. But at the moment, we just need to, wisely progress him, because we can see the qualities he does bring to, not just his defensive part of the game, but in the attacking third, like breaking down plays and then starting a transition for us is very important. So, again, we're very happy with the whole group right now. And if we can get everyone up to a level to be competitive, which creates internal competition, like we've always spoken about, drives the ambition of everybody and makes our competitive standard a little bit higher. If everyone's competing for the same place and there's only 11 spots to be handed out, just thinking that now everyone, poses problems for me as a coach, us as a coaching staff, in terms of who we pick on the weekend. And it's a good problem to have. We get Miggy Perez back. We get Kyle Hebert coming back with, just bunch of confidence now, getting on last night. What a moment for the club. What a moment for him as an individual. What a moment just for his family. It's an incredible achievement for him in a short space of what he's done. So we welcoming those guys with open arms.
You were mentioning Kyle. He made his debut with the Canadian national team. Can you just speak to how impressive his rise has been from playing in college to having a big role with City 2 to making the first team and now playing with the Canadian national team?
It hasn't impressed me at all. It's just what's expected, I think, right? We've seen this, at City too. I saw it in 3 days of training in preseason in 2022 in Florida, right? I saw this guy that's ready to commit to the cause, ready to commit to the principles. He's a good human being on and off the field, and he has good physical qualities. So with those qualities, you're bound to get rewarded. I mean, Tim Parker sitting in this room, he's a prime example as well, right? So working with Tim at the Red Bulls, you possess a certain type of profile as a defender, as a player, with the attributes, with the mentality. And I think he's been a good role model for Kyle Hiebert as well, to show what the ceiling can be. That he gets rewarded so quickly with the national team. It's, it's just, we're all very proud of him. And but it doesn't impress me. It's almost like that's what we expect of him because he's got the tools to do it.
Speaking of Kyle Hiebert and Miguel Perez, now that they will be back from national team duty, how do you integrate him back to the team with a match day?
Yeah,
on
obviously
Saturday?
we're getting their loads from the physical department from each of the respective, countries. Obviously the US with Miggy and the Canadian strength and conditioning coaches of Canada. So we'll look at those loads, what they've done over the week. Kyle Hiebert gets here today. Miggy Perez did a regen on his own with the bike and in the gym. So he'll spend the whole day here doing regen. He'll be integrated slowly with the team. And Kyle only played 30 minutes. So it's good to get a load because of the progressions of the week. He'll be ready for match day weekend. So we have some good, tough decisions to make.
So even with the depth in your attack that you've talked about a lot, has Nico Gioacchini kind of played himself into a position, at least recently with his run of form, where he's kind of opponent agnostic, where he just has played himself into that lineup regardless of who you're playing?
I wouldn't say regardless. I still think we have weapons, in the final third where every team that poses us a problem, we can try and pick, we can open up the tool bag and choose, is it a Klauss, is it a Nico, is it an Ostrijk, is it a Jensen, is it a is it a Pompeu, all these guys, is it a Stroud? So, we break down the opponent and then we look at the profiles where we can roll out against these teams. So just thinking he's one of, right? And that's, we don't really, nothing's, automatically given. And everyone has to bring it every single day. But Gio's done an amazing job. I had a good chat with him yesterday. He's just grown as an individual over the last 2 months of being with us. And just, what it takes to be, at this level, at this team, at this philosophy. There's little moments for him. And I've seen tremendous growth from his mentality, from his quality, from his physical capability, just a willingness to commit to the group. And he's been rewarded with that. So, I mean, it's the perfect combination of just showing commitment to the cause, and then you get rewarded. So, yeah, hard work pays off.
Jake Nowinski wasn't out there today. What's Jake's situation?
So Jake has a few things, not a few things, has had a little tight back for a few years now, apparently. I found out yesterday that he's had this thing for 2 years. And sometimes it just repeats. Towards the end of games, he gets a little bit of a tight back. So today was just a deloading day for him. I think after 11 weeks of, you're really crushing it in terms of the physical data, for Jake today to take a day off really doesn't hurt him or us. That actually makes us get better, I think, just getting him, a little bit of a break. So, yeah, I think tomorrow he should be back. We'll just observe it day by day.
And then Alm came off early, Bartlett too, right?
Yeah, interesting one with Alm. He took a knock against RSL on the knee, and that's just been, been bothering him ever since. Yeah, he's just got a bit of inflammation on the knee, but nothing major. So we're hoping he can progress every day. He tried it today, but he just has some continuous pain. But I think it's a result of the contusion that he got in the game.
Tom?
Yeah, Coach, on the broadcast they were talking about the team's swagger, and you talked a little bit about it last week. Do you embrace the concept of swagger? Is it just something that comes, you can't get around it? Because this is not a team that seems to be, you don't think of it's a joyful team.
Yeah, I think we've got to a point with the group now where it's not arrogance. It's swagger, but it's in joy, and it's still humble, right? So it's confidence about what we are doing, which exudes a little bit of, swaggerness. It just exudes a little bit because the boys are having fun. I think, you guys are in training early enough to see the warm-ups and to see us having a little bit of fun. And if you don't come to work not having fun, then I think you're in the wrong profession, right? So we've got the best job in the world, and now we have a group of guys that commit to everything every single day, and we're being rewarded for the hard work. So it's never arrogance, right? It's always humility, but we're enjoying what we're doing now. And we have a bit of momentum, and we know there's two sides to every coin, or the ball is round, and sometimes you're on top, and you might be going downwards sometimes on the bottom of the ball, right? So just like in a cycle of life, right now we're just enjoying the moment, and every day for us is a celebration to come to work. It's a celebration to play games. It's a celebration to come and embrace the fans here at City Park. So for us, we're just enjoying what we are doing, but it's never arrogant.
We'll wrap up with Mr. T-Rav Man.
Good afternoon, Coach.
How you
Dustin
doing?
Ravioli Man with the Toasted Times here. Got a hard question for you. What is your favorite St. Louis food?
So I'm going to have to disappoint you, Mr. Ravman. I'm going to give a shout out to the Beast. Pork steak sandwich is one that I will go do hands down any day of the week. No disrespect.
Yeah, none taken.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
As a guy who's been around this league for a long time, just how unusual is the start for this team?
Very. I think in any league to go 5-0 to start off the year is quite the mark. So especially in this league where there's a lot of teams that have success, but also going on the road in this league is never easy. So in order to go on the road and win in the first 5 games of the year it's pretty impressive, I would think.
What's been this? What has swayed that? So it's so much parity there. What has put you guys on the positive side in these games?
Yeah, I think sticking to who we are and what we want to do as a team, our identity has been really strong, and in each of these games, I think we've kind of stuck to that and played close to in terms of how close we wanted to play to our identity. I think we played really well. So I think just sticking to who we are is what's kind of given us success.
And how are you feeling now after missing a game and coming back?
Yeah, no, I'm good now. Good to go. Just a little bit of groin tightness that just wanted to be careful with it. So when I wasn't ready to go against San Jose, it was looking up for sure going to Salt Lake.
Go ahead, Tom.
Has the experience of this part of the season, has that changed your idea of what it's like to be the vice captain? Or have you still have the feeling right now, the same feeling you had about that role when you were chosen?
What do you mean by that?
Well, like when you must have had some kind of feeling when you were named vice, and I remember you talking about it. You
Right.
were named, has the experience of this incredible start, this incredible experience, has that changed your perception at all of what your role is?
No, I don't think so. I think obviously we have a good group of leaders on this team, and for Berkey and I to be kind of named captain and vice captain, of course it's an honor, but at the same time there's a lot of leaders on this team, and there's a lot of guys that we look to as well for advice. So while we might be having those little titles, there's still a lot of guys that are helping along the way.
Go ahead, Santi.
Tim, can you talk about the rise of Lucas Bartlett as a reliable
No.
center back?
Yeah, Lucas has done well. Yeah, I think in terms of coming in versus Portland, getting his first couple minutes there, seeing out a win, and then playing well at home versus San Jose, sometimes it can be a lot to take on, but he's done pretty well with it. And, we're looking forward to obviously more performances from him.
Tim, before the game at Real, I heard some analysts on TV talking about 6 games in. 6 games in tells you who you are as a team and who you're not as a team. And I thought, okay, that was before we won the 5th game. But we're now on 6 and at home. What do you think that's going to tell everybody about who we are and who we're not?
Yeah, I know a lot of the analysts, and they don't really seem to vibe with us all that well lately. So, yeah, I think as a team, like we've kind of talked about, we have a clear identity, and I think a lot of the guys in the locker room know what we want to do with that identity, and it's not really going to change. So it's whether teams how they kind of adjust to play against us is, I think, going to be our biggest challenge throughout the year is how we get opponents to play against us. So that might change throughout the year, but right now, obviously, things are going pretty well, and we don't want to change a thing.
Go ahead, Matt.
So at the start of the year, you played alongside Jake Nowinski a lot. You guys had some familiarity, but as the games have progressed, you've seen time both with Jake, with Lucas, over on the other side against Real Salt Lake with John Nelson. So can you speak to the cohesiveness of the back line, the ability for like yourself and others to kind of play multiple positions, and just the overall effectiveness of our back line?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes back to everyone knowing the identity of the team, and it's like it's sometimes it's plug and play situations where you're not always going to be in your desired spot, but it's also kind of the idea that everyone kind of knows and relies on the other guy to do their job. So whether it's I'm playing next to Johnny or Jake's relying on me that I'll have his back, or Johnny will rely on me to have his back, and it'll go the same way when I'm playing. So it's not necessarily who you're playing next to, it's more the understanding that if someone's stepping out of position, that the other guys are going to be able to cover, and we have that good understanding with a lot of the guys, not even the guys that aren't playing at the moment.
Go ahead, Tom.
How's it feel to have now playing alongside you at times Canadian international Kyle Hebert?
Yeah, I'm really happy for him. Obviously to get your first call up is something else, and obviously to get his first debut and his first call up is something really special. So I'm really happy for him. I can't wait to see him tomorrow. I'm sure he'll come in with a big smile on his face.
Well, not too different from a normal day for Kyle, though, where you want big smiles.
That's a good point.
Hey, as someone who sees it from the other side in practice, what's so good about this team's offense? 15 goals in 5 games ignore the fact that Klauss is in the room. What makes it tough where do these goals come from?
Right now they're coming from a lot of different situations. It's not only just in transition play or on set pieces or when we have the ball. So we've kind of become a tough team to play against because the goals have been coming from different situations. And I think that's a credit to how we press against the ball, the service on set pieces, our combination play up top, our willingness to run off the ball. So there's a lot of different things. And at the end of the day, it's unselfishness. I think in the game against Salt Lake, Edu makes that extra pass to Rasmus, who then gets his first goal. So it's a team that's really just working for each other right now.
And when did you first start sensing the confidence that this team has?
Yeah, in preseason went well, but it's tough because I've been around this league for a long time to judge preseason on how it goes, But I really think that it was in Austin. I think we are 1-1 at halftime, and being 1-1 at halftime in Austin as our first MLS game in a tough environment, everyone was really pissed off at halftime. And I think for myself, I was like, wow, it exudes the confidence of this group because everyone's so angry, but this is actually kind of a good spot to be in, like tied at halftime on the road in the MLS. So, but yeah, it kind of just shows the character of these guys.
Tom?
Everyone continues to talk about the idea of the identity, the idea of the team. And to hear you talk about it, it makes me think, in addition to the pressure that you guys bring, the whole team brings, every time the other team touches the ball, how much is this is probably kind of a weird question, how much of that is the expression of the team expressing its identity? It's visible, right? You guys know what it is. Anybody who's watched it now knows what it is. How much of that do you think the opposition picks up on? Is that too weird?
No, I think the opposition definitely feels it. There have been a couple of instances where guys have said, they feel like they're playing against more men on the field, and that's what we want to make it feel like.
Yeah. Anyone else have any other questions? All right, thanks, Tom.
Cool.
Thanks, Dave.
No problem.
Klauss, what's made this team's offense so dynamic?
I think the work as a team, because it's not only offensive but also defensive. Everybody works together in the team. So when we defend together. When we attack together. So you can see we have 8 players with goals already in the season. So it's not only the strikers, everyone.
Is that something that you expected to see from this team?
Yeah, since the day one
We say that we commit to each other, we trust each other, and we play as a team. So I think it's working really well, and this just help us.
And have you been in your career around a stretch like this, starting the season with 5 wins and scoring lots of goals and playing the way you are?
I don't think I start with 5 wins straight, but yeah, this is really important for us. And this brought a lot of confidence for the team, for the players. You know, everyone feels free to play and to do what we want on the pitch. So yeah, this just bring confidence for us and excitement to the next game.
What's your perspective on how you're able to put yourself in the right place at the right time to take some of those seemingly easy passes that opponents are used to and just turn them into goals?
Look, I'm I'm the guy who is close to the goal in our team, and when I got this pass was not because of my movements, was because what the team is doing behind me. So it's great for the teams, of course. After I got this pass, I have to finish it, and I think it's something that we are doing really well. When we have the opportunities, we are punishing the opponent, and this is really important.
Tom?
I want to talk about your defense. At the end of the game the other night, I think it was the 93rd minute, I watched you run the length of the field to get involved in the defense. I mean, you didn't trot, you ran. Tell me about that.
Look, for me as a striker, it's really important to score goals, and I'm really happy when I score goals. And I'm sure for defensive, it's really important when we keep the clean sheet. And I'm sure if Tim has to sprint in the 90 minutes for me to score a goal, he will do that. So I just have to help them as well behind. And I know I'm important piece of the team in the set pieces. So when I see it was already 92, I think, something like that. And I want to keep the clean sheet as well for them. So I sprint back to help them.
Santi?
What's your assessment of the level of MLS now that you have played 5 games, played 6 preseason games? Where do you see the level of MLS so far?
I see a lot of qualities. I really like that every team is trying to play. Everyone has their own philosophy. Everyone have good players in the team. So you can see that the quality is really high. And yeah, I'm really enjoying MLS. I think the game is really open. It's not, you don't have favorite. So it's open games, always 50-50, and the team it's better in the day, it's going to win the game.
What do you like about this style of play? I mean, lots of times forwards, we're able, when the ball's the other way, stand around and wait for it to come back. But what do you like about this style of play in the high press?
I have been playing like this for years. I had Oliver Glasner as a coach in Las Links. After he went to Wolfsburg, and Wolfsburg played Champions League. He went to Eintracht Frankfurt. They won Europa League, and he was playing the same style like Bradley. And so it's not new for me now. And when you play soccer, I think it's important when you start to understand the game as well. It's not just to play, but understand what you're doing. So yeah, I start to study the game and see. I really like to watch games, and I see that this is something that really works. So and of course, you enjoy the process. You enjoy what you're doing as well. I think it's not only the ball possession that is important in soccer, because you can have the ball for 90 minutes, but if you don't score goals, you not win the game. So I really enjoy the way we play and the way we train here.
And you've got 5 goals in 5 games. There's 34 games in the season, but can you keep this pace up?
Hope so. I hope so. I'm working really hard. I know that it's not easy to keep this 1 goal per game, but yeah, I'm sure that the team trusts me. That's the most important thing for me. I'm confident in what I'm doing, and yeah, if it's with goals or, as you say, defending the 90 minutes, I will try to help the team in the best way possible.
The other night, you said it's either your mama crying or the other guy's mama crying. During the game, does that thought ever occur to you? I don't want to make my mama cry.
Like, this is one expression to say that when I'm on the pitch, I'm fighting for my family, fighting for my food on the table, and for my teammates that work with me every single day. So this means that when we go hard and we defend what is ours. Doesn't mean that I want moms crying around, but it just means that we fight for our guys, for our team, our club, our families.
We'll wrap up with Tim.
Think about it, your question.
I have been. Two-parter. One, could you explain our goal celebration? And then two, if you could be any animal besides Zoe, what would you be?
So first, about the celebration. I was going out of the training, and then I saw Tim, Indy, and Lucas. They were doing this celebration. And then I asked them, when they gonna do that? They say, yeah, when we score in the game. Then I was thinking, but when you guys score the game, so maybe we will be not this year. So I told them that I was going to help them. And when I score, we're going to do the celebration. So it was what we did. And the second question, the animal. Probably a deer, huh? It's a good one. Yeah, I like it.
Thank you, Klauss.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.